Western Conference playoffs continue on TNT from the capital of California, Sacramento. And here inside Arco Arena, sold-out crowd, a boisterous crowd as we get set for Game 4. It's the Seattle Supersonics and the Sacramento Kings, with Seattle leading the series 2-1. I'm Matt Devlin alongside Rex Chapman and John Thompson as we get set. It is time to check out the McDonald's starting lineups. And of course, for the Sacramento Kings, they're coming up with a huge win in Game 3 here, with Mike Bibby leading the way. 31 points for Mike Bibby. And of course, he is certainly a key for the Seattle Supersonics. Rashard Lewis, Reggie Evans, Jerome James, what a series he has had. Ray Allen, Luke Ridnour, and for the Kings, Pages Stojakovic, Kenny Thomas, Brad Miller, Cuttino Mobley, and Mike Bibby. And coach, when you take a look at this setting, it is a difficult place to play. One of the things Seattle wants to do, they want to get Rashard Lewis involved. He was just 2 of 10 from the field on Friday night in Game 3.
Well, one of the things Rashard has to realize is that he's an all-star now, and this is the playoffs. He's got to work a lot harder because he's going to get more attention, Rex.
Rex, Mike Bibby has a playoff reputation that he earned back in 2002 against the Los Angeles Lakers, and it showed in Game 3 on Friday night.
He earned that reputation being a second or third guy behind Chris Webber, behind Pages Stojakovic. He's the man now. He's got to step up. Seattle's going to be very physical with him tonight.
Rick Adelman telling us that it has been an adjustment for Mike Bibby, but Bibby broke through in game number 3. Getting set and controlled by Seattle are 3 officials: Bernie Fryer, Jack Neese, and Bill Spooner, veteran. Lewis, shot doesn't go.
See, that shot was very important for him because he's been having some psychological problems, not drastically, but of a superstar. He's getting attention. He's got to make that layup.
Nate McMillan telling us before the game that he actually had more touches on Friday night than in the first 2 combined. A cut underneath, and a great feed, Kenny Thomas from Bibby.
Terrific find. Somebody lost their man wide open underneath the bucket.
Here's Jerome James. Back down move. He's been tough to handle.
And there's the beast, coach. There's the beast.
Watch out, they'll be calling him Big Game James here pretty soon. James, ahead. Get out of the way.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty impressive right there for the big fella. 7'1", 270 pounds. Catching that ball and finishing on the break, that's impressive.
Well, and they're getting him involved early. Hopefully that'll translate into defense and rebounding also.
Lewis flashed out on Thomas, disrupted the shot out of bounds. Sacramento ball.
And as you see here, Mike Bibby with great vision spots a wide open Kenny Thomas directly underneath for the easy bucket.
Bibby might have had vision, but anybody on the Seattle team to say they had vision is crazy. He was so wide open.
Cuttino Mobley tapped up. Miller keeps it alive.
And that's Brad Miller. That's his game, guys. He's so important, so vital for Sacramento, just his presence on the floor. I believe Sacramento's got a legitimate chance if they keep Brad Miller on the floor 30-plus minutes tonight.
Played 35 in Game 3. James comes over, denies, Pages Stojakovic.
But that's a good sign because that's what they want to see. The Seattle people want to see James do, is not just play on the offensive end, but be a factor in the lane.
Nate McMillan saying, hey, don't worry about the fouls. Ray Allen quiets the crowd.
And they say, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Ray Allen, he's on some kind of tear, and he knows right now he's got the Sacramento Kings number.
Averaging 29 in the series. Miller on the drive with the left hand. Played 35 minutes in Game 3, getting those extended minutes.
See, as long as Miller's operating from that high post, James is going to have a difficult time with lateral movement keeping up with him.
Turnover by Reggie Evans.
Well, and you're looking at this. James does a great job of backing in. Miller's sitting behind him. No help is hardly coming. He turns and lays it in. You know, and this is a great play because now he comes over and does what the team needs him to do, and that's to block shots and block up the middle.
Seattle turns it over. A problem in game 3 in the first quarter. They turned it over 9 times. They made, Rex, just 8 field goals, and it was 31-19 at the end of the first quarter.
Well, you know, they got up to a great start in game 3, and that's what they needed to do here at home. The rest of the game was played pretty much even, quarters 2 through 4, but they got off to such a great start early. It was tough for Seattle to recover from.
Lewis, silky smooth as he lays it up and through.
You know, we mentioned a second ago Brad Miller's presence for the Kings. He's vital for so many reasons, and one is Peja Stojakovic. Peja is used to getting the ball. That's Cuttino Mobley with a wild shot for Sacramento, but Peja's used to getting the ball from guys like Chris Webber, Vlade Divac. Used to having a guy passing the ball where he doesn't have to put the ball on the floor so much.
Lewis from outside spills out. Neither team has shot the ball from downtown well in the series. Outside of Ray Allen, here's James. Not his game out there.
Well, he knew it too because when he shot it, he ran back to defense. That wasn't because he thought he was going to make it either.
I better get back here before somebody says something. Here's Brad Miller wide open. Knocks it down. You talked about how key he is. It's also the fact that he makes Mike Bibby comfortable.
He makes Mike Bibby comfortable. He makes Peja comfortable. Those 3 guys have been part of the nucleus here in Sacramento for the last few years. And Peja's just got to have his eyes wide open with the addition of Brad Miller on the court, Coach.
Well, and the other thing Miller does is he takes James out of his nest. Anytime Miller's operating from that high post, James is going to have a lot of trouble in going out after him because he can drive by him or hit that shot.
James with a rebound.
And really, that's what you want to do. You want to take a guy even defensively from his comfort level, make him defend in spots on the floor where he's uncomfortable.
Allen posting up. And foul.
Yeah, speaking of, and there's got to have, Sacramento's got to come and help. They got to come and help Cuttino Mobley. Ray Allen is he's an all-around player in this league. He's done it at such a high level for so many years now. But, you know, you can't leave Cuttino Mobley on an island there if you're the Sacramento Kings.
Rick Adelman telling us that we have no answer for him, and one of the things that made him so tough in game 3 when he scored 33 points is that he was able to get to the free throw line, and Ray Allen was 10 of 10 from the line in game 3.
Well, one of the reasons he's so dangerous is because you have to respect and send so much help at him on his jump shot. And now he goes under Rex and posts a guy, you're going to foul him because he can hit you so many different ways.
He's made 19 straight from the free throw line, including those 2. Seattle by 1. Close to 5 minutes in. Game 4 here at Arco Arena. Miller. In the corner, Stojakovic drills the 3. They've been waiting for that.
Now, that's a direct result of Brad Miller's presence on the floor. Luke Ridnour makes a nice coast-to-coast move, but that was all created by Brad Miller. Had he not been on the floor there, he doesn't get the double team in the post, the quick kick out to Mobley, and a 3 by Peja.
Thomas cutting loses the handle, and it's Seattle basketball.
As you see, Brad Miller drives, great defense by James, kick out, quick pass, touch pass, and Peja doing what he does best, catch and shoot.
Lewis, tough shot, earns the foul underneath.
And the foul charge the Kings, number 52, Brad Miller.
You know, one thing is quite obvious. Peja no way can guard Lewis from the perimeter to the basket because Lewis is just too quick for him. If Lewis settles down and just takes him, it's no way that Peja's going to guard him once he has the ball in his hand. He can stop him from getting it in his hand, but he can't. He's the same matchup that James has with Miller at the other end from the outside. It shouldn't be.
You make a great point, Coach. And one thing that Dwayne Casey, Seattle's assistant, said today, they want to get Rashard his post-ups early. They want to get him in transition early in the clock. Great pass. Great pass from Bibby, but they want to get it where the double team doesn't have time to come, where he can go quick, use his quickness against Stojakovic.
Stojakovic with 7 points early and a turnover underneath by James. Here's Bibby into the front court. Sacramento doing all this without the backcourt of Bibby and Mobley, as Bibby misses the attempt, tracked down by Seattle. Here's Allen quickly ahead.
Ray Allen with a quick, gave him the tell Jerome James to come down and set the screen, a little behind the back signal to the big fella to come and set the screen, and rewarded with a nice pass.
James averaging 19.3 points and 11 rebounds in the series. Brad Miller, perfect from the field, and he's wide open, Coach. 4 of 4.
Wide open, he's shooting a free throw, literally free. Nobody was near him, and that's what James, when he goes over to help, somebody's either got to rotate to help him out high, or he's got to get back quickly, because Miller, as Rex said, is going to create so much of a problem that Peja is going to end up being open all over the place.
Lewis, 1 of 3. Here's Rittenauer from downtown. Shot doesn't go. James, offensive rebound. Then turns it over. 2-on-1. Rittenauer gets back. Bibby driving on Allen. And Mobley, his first field goal. Sacramento by 3. And a timeout taken by Nate McMillan with 4:43 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, see, this is great movement by Peja, because Peja is not a guy with the ball. He moves well without the ball, and that's what he took advantage of. Now Miller's wide open. James is nowhere near him. I mean, these guys have got to meet their energy level.
The 2005 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Miller, there's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. And by McDonald's.
This series started a week ago Saturday in Seattle. Game 1, Ray Allen with 28 points. And then in game number 2, of course, Jerome James doing it as well. 19 points, 9 rebounds for James. And they took a 2-0 lead here to Sacramento. And then, yes, the Kings did come alive. It was physical. Brad Miller setting a deafening screen on Rittenauer. And Mike Bibby with 31 points, 5 shy of his playoff career high at 36 he earned in Dallas a year ago. And, yes, they do believe here in Sacramento because of this home court advantage they have here.
They do believe. And one thing we need to say, Mike Bibby, before the game, was telling me, you know, it's very important that Peja comes out and gets off early. He's had a tendency the last few games, if he misses the shot early, he's done. He doesn't want to shoot anymore after that. So he's gotten off early, and the Kings also have gotten off early.
A different-looking Vladimir Radmanovic checking in, and the first shot doesn't go.
I refuse to talk about Vladimir's hair.
Bibby, coach was talking to him about the look.
Yeah, I was asking him to recommend this hairstylist. He told me my hair was too short.
Mobley drills it.
Well, we've seen a big change here already, and that is that they've realized Brad Miller is too much for Jerome James. Jerome James has taken a seat on the bench, and Reggie Evans, the fleeter-footed Reggie Evans, has come in and taken his place.
Rittenauer in and out, tapped up by Evans, and Thomas comes down with it. Sacramento by 6. Radmanovic challenges Miller. The pass underneath. Radmanovic handles the rebound. Good job by Vladimir Radmanovic.
Very good job, but a terrific pass by Brad Miller. He's such a nice player.
Seattle basketball.
See, and this is the trade-off. Down at the other end, Miller created such a problem for James. James is not in the game right now. But now when you come down to offense, you don't have James's presence. The way James is going so well offensively, it takes a lot of pressure off of Sac right now because they don't have to be concerned about him inside. But those are the choices that coaches have to make. You sacrifice your offense or your defense right now.
And what a luxury it is to have Brad Miller back. Now, he can take a break. Rick Adelman can get him a couple minutes on the bench while Jerome James is out and while they've got Reggie Miller in the ball game.
Bobby Jackson checking in. Played in just 25 games this season because of a left wrist injury. Talked to him before the game, said he's still trying to find that rhythm with his shot. Offensive foul.
See, and that's one of the differences you see in the Sacramento team that Coutinho asks for a clear out. Usually, their teams in the past have passed and cut and passed and cut. But Coutinho is more of a guy who wants to use the dribble to go where he wants to go.
Antonio Daniels, along with Nick Collison, Ray Allen, Radovanovic, and Evans. Mobley on Allen. Allen beats him off the dribble by Sangaila. Daniels with the shot clock down to 3. And a turnover.
Right now you see Sacramento's playing a lot better team defense. They realize that it's a lot of quickness on the Seattle team, and their defense has stepped up in terms of support.
Time for our Gatorade Around the Cooler, and we bring in the 4th member of our broadcast team, Susie Schuster. Susie?
Well, Matt, the All-Star Rashard Lewis told me he's got a special surprise for Sacramento tonight. He touched the ball 35 times over the last 3 games, only resulted in 28 points. He said tonight the ball's going to go through his hands a lot more. Ray Allen actually said we have to take more efficient advantage of our weak side guys, make them so paranoid that they won't double-team Rashard. Now, Rashard also said he went to go see Triple X last night. Takes a lot of motivation from Ice Cube, who said, look, no one can stop me from doing my game. No one's going to stop me from doing my game. Guys, I know you guys are a big fan of Ice Cube, right?
Well, I tell you what, I know Rex is.
Well, without a doubt, Susie, and a terrific report. But you make a great point. Rashard Lewis, this is his first go-around being an all-star and playing in these playoffs. Bobby Jackson misses a jumper. But he's got to be more involved. He's got to get himself more involved. He's averaging 16 shots on the season. He's only getting 11 right now. Conversely, Jerome James, the big fella, he's averaging 15 shots, and he's taking 4.5 during the regular season.
Well, and Rashard is going to have it much more difficult. Somebody needs to tell Rashard that you become an all-star at midseason. You become a superstar in playoffs. He's got to step up right now.
That's a great point. And Lewis, 1 of 3, has 3 points. Bibby. Under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And a foul. And it's charged to Nick Collison.
See, and I give Rick Adelman credit for that call, because all the papers, all the talk has been about how physical this Seattle team is. The official makes the call right in front of Rick. That's good coaching.
In fact, Nate McMillan telling us, hey, I feel like we got a bullseye in our back. And Rick Adelman's so unhappy with the way things went in the first 3 games, he actually sent a tape to the league office.
Well, and Danny Fortson says he's got a bullseye on his back, and right away, he and Corliss Williams some arm wrestling out here. Jack Neese says, no, we're not having any of that. Double foul, guys.
Sounds like a shooter talking to me. I call it fattening frogs for snakes.
Jack Neese, 27th year officiating in the NBA. Peja Stojakovic. Shot doesn't go. Darius Sangaila. Wake Forest product. Shot no. And it's Sacramento basketball.
And Rick Adelman looking to get Sangaila a little bit more involved today. The last couple games, Coach, he's had the triple couple points, couple rebounds, couple assists. They need to get a little bit more production out of him.
Well, and the guys off of the bench for Sac seem to be more aggressive.
Stojakovic has 9, 4 of 5 shooting.
Great sign for Sacramento. A terrific sign for a shooter. Sacramento's got to make it tougher on Peja, make him put that ball on the floor.
Well, especially because he's so accustomed to the guys in the past and making cuts, in which he's excellent at. He's not as effective when he's got to create with the ball himself.
Bobby Jackson's just too small. He's just too small for Ray Allen in the post. They've got to come and help him.
Allen ends a 9-0 run. Seattle had missed 5 straight prior to that. Allen with 7.
You know, guys get in rhythms in this league. Guys find teams that they feel comfortable with. And Ray Allen, you can tell he's just playing free and easy. Sacramento's doing nothing to impede his progress whatsoever. He's just got it going. He knows he's got it going. He can take his time. He's surveying the court, surveying, see if the double team's coming. It's not coming, okay. And that's been his mentality. he's really got a mindset that Sacramento can't stop him, and they better figure out a way to at least slow him down.
And I think the thing you said about his smoothness is very deceiving because of the fact of his temperament. You know, you tend to think that he's coasting, but he's very deceptionally quick person. I remember when he was at Connecticut, we sent everything but the kitchen sink at him and couldn't stop him. And believe me, we touched him also.
Showed him some love. Showed him some love
several times. We put our hands on the fella, and he still came away with penalty.
Darius Sangaila at the free throw line after a Radovanovic foul. Radovanovic, another minute remaining. Quick trigger. Allen, a rare miss tonight, and Bibby comes down with it. Stojakovic up fake by Radovanovic. And Collison reels in the board.
And you know what Radovanovic did there? He didn't play very good defense, but one thing he did, he made Peja put that ball on the floor. And when you make him put the ball on the floor, a guy who just likes to catch and shoot, your percentages go up dramatically that he's going to miss that shot.
The feed underneath. Danny Fortson forces it up.
Danny Fortson just jumped into the ground, I think. He tried to jump up and actually went down into the floor.
Bibby. Mike Bibby drains it. Oh, my.
Peja.
Feeling it. They're loving it here in Arco Arena. An 11-point lead by Sacramento.
Just a heady play. Heady play by Peja Stojakovic.
Sacramento on a 16-4 run to end the first quarter. Peja Stojakovic with 11 points.
Boy, and you've got to definitely meet the challenge of this crowd here in Sacramento. You know, it's so important right now for Seattle to understand that they've got to, number one, when the crowd gets involved, not get yourself too emotionally distraught. But when the crowd's not involved, you've got to meet the energy level of this team because Sac feeds off of the energy of these people.
Well, you said it right, Coach. This, without a doubt, bar none, this is the loudest building in the NBA.
Bernie Fryer going over. Checks on it, says yes, it does count before the red lights. What a first quarter for the Sacramento Kings, doing it once again as they lead by 11. Welcome back to Sacramento, California. Game 4 between Seattle and the Kings, and Sacramento Kings lead by 11 at the end of the first quarter. Seattle turned it over, Rex, 5 times, leading to 6 points, including that last play by Peja Stojakovic, cutting, lays it up and through, has 13.
Well, Seattle's got themselves a problem right now. Like we've said before, you let a guy get going in this league, especially a guy that's an NBA All-Star and one of the best shooters in the league. You let a guy get going like that, and you've got a problem. Seattle's got problems on their hands.
Well, especially because of the fact that Peja's getting the game the way he wants. He's getting cuts through the middle without any help, anybody touching him. He's a cutting receiver.
And a foul on the floor. Stojakovic in this series shooting just 37%. Not the case tonight, 6 of 8.
Terrific cut by Peja, and a nice delivery by Bibby. Mike is really looking for Peja right now, trying to get him going, keep him going, and get his confidence sky high.
Radovanovic picks up his second. Bibby gives it up here. Sangaila over Radovanovic. Taking the place of Brad Miller. Same spot, good.
Well, you know, Coach, you asked a question just a minute ago during the break. Where is Jerome James? And you know, I'll let you answer. I feel like he needs to be in the game when Brad Miller's on the bench.
Well, especially when Miller's on the bench, but also he creates a problem at the other end for Sacramento. You might be losing something on his inability to defend outside, but he created as much of a problem on the inside, particularly with the momentum of the playoffs offensively that he's been for.
James played 7 minutes, had 6 points, 2 rebounds in the first quarter. Foul on Lewis, his first. Corliss Williamson. And the big nasty foul. They'll go to the free throw line. Second on Fortson. Take a look back at the first quarter. Kings shot 50%. They shot better than 50% in Game 3 in the first quarter. You see the turnover, certainly a concern, but Brad Miller, perfect.
Well, again, he just makes Sacramento a different team. Brad Miller developed himself into an all-star. He had a bad break with the leg fracture late in the season, missed a bunch of time, and he's just rounding himself back into shape. He's probably not going to be into great game shape anytime soon, but like we said before, the more he can be on the floor tonight and in this series for Sacramento, the better chance they're going to have.
Well, and one reason, because he attracts attention and leaves openings for a guy like Frazier to cut and not have to use it off a dribble. But now Jerome James is back in the ball game, and let's see if he can pick up something on the offensive end.
He's back in the ball game, but you know, I'm really calling on Rashard Lewis right now. Ray Allen's out of the game. Rashard Lewis has got to show and become that superstar player that you're talking about, Coach. He should have this all day, this matchup against Vegas Stoyakovich.
Daniel's shot doesn't go. Here's Bibby with numbers. Gives it up. Carlos Williamson with the thunderous slam.
Well, the transition defense was terrible that time. They've got a lot of guys that run up and down the floor like their feet are stuck in the mud.
Ginobili right in the face. So I think they got away with one there.
San Antonio leads that series 2-1. They defeated Denver 86-78. 17-point advantage for Sacramento. Sangaila. Jackson. And Williamson cleans it up.
See, and this is where James is a liability because of his inability to come up and down the floor quick in transition. They got 2 shots at that ball in an area where he should have been at least by the time of the second shot.
Carlos Williamson played just 8 minutes in Game 3, already with 6 points in 4 minutes of action here in Game 4.
Well, you know, Coach, I understand with the transition, Jerome James is going to be behind the pack. But right now, there are 4 guys for Sacramento beating everybody for Seattle down the court. I don't understand that from Nate McMillan's bunch.
Well, you're absolutely right, Base. Particularly if they expect James to block the middle up for them in a half-court set. Somebody's got to give him some protection to help him to get back. But by the time they got a second shot, I'd like to see him back by then. Or hear him coming at least.
Rashard Lewis, 5 points.
That was a great move by Rashard, getting himself involved. Oh, what a nice pass.
Jackson the feed to Sangaila. Ahead, here's Ray Allen. Costa foul.
I mean, he's just as smooth as silk, as easy as you want it. Never changes expressions. Terrific outlet pass and a beautiful, beautiful finish by Ray Allen.
Well, and also, if Rashard Lewis wants to get involved a little bit in the offense, he's got to get out on the wing, too, because now he's getting so much attention in half court because of his ability, which is a compliment to him. But get the lanes the same way Lewis is doing. I mean, the same way that Ray Allen is doing right now.
Let's send it over to Susie.
All right, guys, Nate McMillan telling his guys we're not stopping anybody. They're pushing us under the boards, getting second and third stops. Now, Ray Allen did go over to Jerome James. He's a calming presence on him, reminded him to simply play within the offense. The ball will come to him. Now, guys, McMillan still scripting the ball to get to Lewis a lot. Guys.
Thank you very much. Knocked out of bounds, 5 ticks remaining on the shot clock.
And another great point, Susie, you know, as Susie was telling us this morning, Jerome James is still a puppy in this league. Still a puppy, some guy with a great rebound. But he's still a puppy in this league. Ray Allen has to take him under his wing, guys like that, and calm him down from time to time.
Ray Allen. Got it.
See, and Lewis running got him that shot because the defense gravitated towards the lane, and he was open. That's what I'd like to see Rashard do. Get out. He's quick enough to get out in the lane and get some easy baskets in transition.
Rick Adelman's not going to let Ray Allen get going too much.
Ray Allen. Allen drains it. 4 of 7 from the field.
The 2005 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Dimension Films and Mindhunters. In theaters everywhere Friday, May 13th. And by the United States Postal Service.
Here's tomorrow's NBA playoff action, starting with Washington taking on Chicago in Game 4 of their series. The Bulls lead it 2-1. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on NBA TV. On TNT, beginning at 8 o'clock, we'll have another doubleheader in Game 1. Dallas hosts Houston in Game 5 of that series. Tied 2 games apiece, and yes, the visiting teams have won all the games. And then, of course, in the second game, San Antonio taking on Denver, and the Spurs lead the series 2-1. Seattle on an 8-0 run after the 19-point advantage, and Brad Miller on the inside.
Brad Miller's feeling a lot better. His conditioning's better, you can tell, and he's starting to get some wind. He's getting some confidence back.
10 points for Miller, 5 of 6 shooting. 13-point game, and Rashard Lewis gets fouled.
Kings foul number 16.
Jerome James is just having a tough time keeping up with Brad Miller. Brad's not considered fleet of foot by any means, but he's an awfully tough cover for Jerome. When he's making that jump shot, he's awfully good.
And the difficulty is when he has larger guys guarding him and he can face up. A lot of guys who are accustomed to guarding people with their backs to the basket have a lot of difficulty when you force them out on the perimeter. I know earlier he created an awful large problem for Jerome James. Now Lewis is having some difficulty. What he also does is command support. And that's where you got to watch out for Pager, because he's sitting wide open every time Miller gets the ball.
Both teams shooting above 50%. Seattle cutting into that 19-point deficit. It's now 11 turnover. Ridnow into the front court. Looking for Allen. Transition 3. Too strong. James reels in the rebound. Allen cutting.
That's a great play by Jerome James. You know, Ray Allen takes that transition jumper because he knows he's got the big 7-footer under there, and sure enough, Jerome James gobbled up the rebound, and a terrific find, too.
Jackson gets bumped by Jerome James. He is fouled. That is his first.
Back for the Kings.
You know, Ray Allen just keeps moving with the ball. He keeps moving. He's always looking, always trying to find it. You know, a scorer always wants to find that ball. He's going to find it eventually.
And Jerome James' presence commanded the 4 guys were around him. Not only did Allen get an open jumper, but he got a beautiful cut to the basket because of James being in the hole.
Jerome James on Friday night in Game 3 didn't pick up his second foul until the third quarter. And from the coaching perspective of the Seattle Supersonics, they said, hey, wait a minute. You're typically picking those things up in the first 10 minutes of action, and they felt that he wasn't doing the job defensively. They said, don't worry about the foul trouble. Just go do your thing. Lewis comes down with it.
Well, they're coming in late, too. Well, now Seattle is making the Kings look vulnerable in transition. Both of these teams leave a lot to be desired in getting back to defense right now.
14-2 run over the last 3-10. Cutting it to 7. Stojakovic. Here's Allen. To Jerome James. Count it. Plus the foul.
Ray Allen has energized this Seattle team. He's not letting them go quiet into the night. I know that. Ray Allen, as you see right here, gets out on the break and spoon feeds the big fella with a nice finish. And look at this. This is just from playing together every day in practice. You know, Radmanovic can go up there and get it, and he threw it right on the money.
You know what never ceases to amaze me is how many guys are slow getting back to defense and fast from the offense. Now, James couldn't get back in his nest on defense, but he ran like heck to get that layup.
He certainly did. Bibby trying to silence his run. Thomas.
This game right now is more at Seattle's pace, I believe. They want to get up and down the court. They've got the guys to get out and run. They want to get Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis up in a transition game.
Allen. Weak side board, Stojakovic. Bibby Denied by James. Had 5 blocks in the first game, 7 in the series.
They call that, coach, smothered chicken right there.
Well, and that's exactly right. Once you afford him an opportunity to get in his nest, which is under the basket, very effective. A lot more difficulty, as you see right here. Makes a good block because he has his feet planted and he's in his comfort level. But between foul line and foul line is where he has some problems.
Kenny Thomas using his quickness.
And Kenny Thomas going right by Radmanovic. Radmanovic has 2 fouls, so Kenny Thomas knew that, goes right to the bigger guy.
Vladimir Radmanovic knocks it down.
And that's got to be a great sight for Seattle fans and Nathan McMillan and company, because he's been really struggling with his jumper. He gets the fast break dunk a little bit ago and comes back and strokes the 3.
It's the last 19 games of the regular season because of a stress fracture in his right fibula. Radmanovic averaging just 6 in the series. Here's James. Another find by Ray Allen.
Beautiful pass by Allen and beautiful cut by James that time.
Terrific hands. Terrific hands to catch that pass. That's not an easy pass to catch. A little bit behind him.
And a foul on Ridenour when Ray Allen checked back in. The score was 39-22, and you see what it is right now.
Well, the beautiful thing about Ray Allen is that he also draws so many people towards him, and he rewards the big guy who makes a cut. You've got to create a window, as Rex said, if you're a big guy, to get the ball. You just can't stand that.
Allen with 15 points.
Ray commands so much attention, and he's so heady as well. He's got his head up all the time surveying. He's going to find you if you're open.
You know, interesting thing in watching Bibby, he also has to do a lot more dribbling now that they've changed the composition of this Kings team. He's more acclimated to doing it than Peja is, but it definitely has an effect on his game because now he's not getting baskets off of cuts. He's not drifting to the corner getting the free ones. He's got to use a lot more energy now.
Allen, 17 points for Ray Allen. As I mentioned, they trailed by 17 when he checked back in here in the second quarter. Bibby turning it up here.
A terrific move by Mike Bibby, but I'm waiting for somebody from Seattle to reach out and touch Ray Allen, knock him down. You got to put this is just too easy, and this is playoff basketball. Somebody's got not hurt him, but somebody's got to knock Ray Allen down, put him on the ground, and let him know he can't have it this easy all night. This is ridiculous.
Already with 19, Thomas. Both teams getting what they want.
They are. They're getting anything and everything, but right now, Ray Allen is in such a groove. He thinks he can do anything he wants on the offensive end.
And he's right. And he's absolutely right.
Turnover. Here's Mobley, 3-on-1. Stojakovic.
That was an ugly fast break. 3 guys running right down the middle of the court. I'm surprised that
no spacing.
Just terrible defense.
Deflected by Miller. Another turnover. Bibby.
That was an offensive foul on Mike Bibby. He jumped right into Ray Allen. Somebody better find Lewis or Allen.
Lewis gets it back. And a foul on Brad Miller.
As you indicated earlier, Rex, both of these teams are not going to be proud of what they're seeing in transition now because most of them have tremendous mismatch. You see Ray going baseline, getting right to the basket. Rex, as you indicated, no supports coming from the other side.
Coutinho Mobley on a 3-on-1, finding Peja Stojakovic with 15 here tonight for Peja. Ray Allen, 5-time All-Star, having his way here this evening with 19. 2 guards are a special breed. They are just so tough to handle. And how about that quick trigger, catch and shoot? He can do it all night long. How quick? 0.65. That's how quick. Rex Chapman, he was quick. I don't know if he was 0.65 quick. Ray Allen, how about this one? 0.69. You got to catch and shoot. Rex Chapman, he could do it. Ray Allen, the 5-time All-Star, is doing it once again. 12 of 19 here in the second quarter, and certainly one of the best in the business. And Ray Allen averaging 29 points in this series, Rex.
Well, he is the best in the business now, but once again, the comparisons to Ray Allen, I don't know. Normally when my name is thrown around with Ray Allen, it's usually to say that Rex Chapman is no Ray Allen.
Well, see, now I was getting ready to say that that guy on the left side of your screen, somebody needs to hit him. The same way he was talking about Ray Allen.
Flatten him down. It's playoff basketball.
They did. The problem was every time I got touched, I broke a bone. Made out of tissue paper, unfortunately.
He was Ray Allen. And that scene there, just so quick.
But two words that every two-guard needs to learn. You got to learn to play against good defense, but you got to learn the 2 words. Too late. You see somebody flying at you, you let it go and holler, too late. But you got to get it off.
Kenny Thomas. Lewis snares the rebound.
What'd you say, Coach, today? That there's a lot of people out there that can shoot?
Well, the key to it is not being able to shoot. Everybody that plays basketball can shoot, but very few people can get their shots off. The guy in the circus with his girlfriend shooting for a penny bag can shoot.
That's exactly
he would
right.
be in the NBA if shooting were the only thing, but Ray can get his shot off.
Lewis turns it over again in the lane. Here's Stojakovic driving. And draws contact. Stojakovic fouled. And while we have a moment, let's check in with Ernie Johnson down in Atlanta. Ernie?
All right, thank you, Matt. Coming up at halftime, Kenny and Charles will be here to break down the first half, and we'll have the highlights of the Suns' sweep of the Grizzlies. And, of course, that means the Grizzlies have gone fishing. And wait till you see the photograph Kenny has with the Grizzlies on vacation. There you go, Matt.
Thank you very much. The first week for the Suns in a series in 10 years. And so they wait on Houston and Dallas.
Well, Kenny ought to have a nice fishing trip this weekend with Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, as well as Jason Williams, I should say.
I wonder if the Czar is on that fishing trip. Kenny Thomas, second chance. Bibby. And a foul.
You got to like what you see out of Peja Stojakovic right now. Mike Bibby's doing a great job of finding him, but confidence is such a beautiful thing. Peja gets a couple shots to go early, and now he's getting the foul line, which is an added bonus for him.
Well, he definitely seems to be more aggressive. You know, he's stepping up to the pace.
Check out NBA TV for highlights, breaking news, press conferences, and behind-the-scenes action during the entire postseason. NBA TV, your home for complete playoff coverage. Stojakovic with 18 points here in the first half.
Both of these teams leave a lot to be desired defensively if they expect to continue on in these playoffs. You know, right now, particularly the transition defense of both of the teams has not been something that neither coach could be proud of.
I agree with you, Coach. And like we said, we were talking earlier today, I don't know, you know, I'm of the mind that neither one of these teams right now are playing well enough to go into the other building and win on the road. It's a very difficult thing to win on the road in this league. And so far, it's held true. The home team has won, and I don't know that Seattle right now, with the way they're playing, has the wherewithal to come into Sacramento in a tough environment and win a basketball game.
Coach, as you said, Rashard Lewis, this is a different time for him, a different experience. Comes in with 8 playoff games under his belt, but he's an all-star now. And so all of a sudden, that double team and the way they treat you is certainly a lot different, and it shows.
Well, particularly in playoffs, as I said earlier, you know, you're an all-star mid-season. You're a superstar at the end of the season in the playoffs.
Bibby has made a name for himself in the playoffs.
That's just too easy. Radmanovic has got to push up, put some pressure on Mike Bibby, and make him drive around him where he's got some help.
Well, particularly because you know that Bibby now, Weber is not here, Vlade's not here, he could give them the ball and make cuts, but he's the focal point. You trap him, you beat on him a little bit out here, make him work a little bit harder.
The 10th turnover by Seattle here in the first half. And Sangaila gives it right back. And I think that's one of the things that You know, you bring up, Coach, and it leads to what you said earlier, Rex, about this team. It's gone through a transition period. No Chris Webber, no Vlade Divac.
And you're talking about two guys, Matt, that were excellent passers. Bibby's role on this team is very similar to Steve Nash with Phoenix now, which is a difference in the Sacramento style of playing. You know, we talked about the Princeton offense. That's non-existent right now. Bibby's controlling the ball, making plays, which he has to do. Now when he goes down the sideline, you know, you don't have the balance of hitting the foul line. And Webber's an excellent pass. Vlade, if he went in the middle. Those guys are superb passes. Bibby's got more pressure now.
All right, we check out the Eastern Conference, and of course Miami handled New Jersey 110-97, sweeping the New Jersey Nets. The first time they've swept a playoff opponent. Kidd with 25, Richard Jefferson 17, Vince Carter just 6 of 22. Shaq didn't score in the first half, didn't matter. Dwayne Wade, a playoff career high 34 points, 13 of 20 shooting, and of course they will wait for Chicago at Washington, and that's a good break for Shaquille O'Neal, so he can rest up.
Well, without a doubt, Shaquille O'Neal is, you know, we all know who Shaquille O'Neal is. If he gets on the weights this summer, he may be a pretty good player in this league someday, you think, Coach?
Count Shaquille O'Neal, skip 5 places, and then talk about the rest of the players in the league.
That's right.
Just that simple. The impact that the big fella has on this league is unbelievable.
2 sweeps there by number 1s. The last time that happened, 1997, the Bulls and the Jazz. Bibby, turnover. Here's Stojakovic from downtown.
Not a problem, Rex, if you let him settle in like that. You were right. You got to chase him and make him put it on the floor.
You said it right, Coach.
Seattle cut it to 3. It grows back to 11, and Collison cleaning up underneath.
Happy birthday. Look what I found, Nick Collison.
9-point game.
You know, it's an exciting game to watch, but what a sloppy game this has been so far.
Kenny Thomas getting into the act.
Very easy. Both teams getting what they want. Very easy. Point-blank layups, transition layups.
And you got to look at how many times Bibby is involved in the play that leads to the basket, whereas before several guys on this team were capable of making the play. Bibby could drift and get the free open looks that Page's getting, but not on this team can he do it.
6 assists tonight for Bibby, and a foul on Sungaya.
Page has just been huge this first half, and something that Sacramento desperately needed. They've got to have him with confidence. And the guy you think a guy who's been an all-star a couple times would have confidence. But basketball's a funny game, Coach, and it can come and go at any time.
Well, and I have difficulty even calling a guy a superstar that we talk about. He's got to have confidence. Most of the superstars I know already have.
I said all-star, not all
mid-season.
Yeah, not all all-stars are superstars.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Timeout in this 10-point game, 65-55. Peja Stojakovic had a game-high 24 in Game 1, and we just talked about the Eastern Conference, and how about the look of the Western Conference? Phoenix, of course, sweeping the Memphis Grizzlies 4-0. Dallas and Houston. What a series that has been. And Tracy McGrady last night in the 4th quarter with 2 points, and Dirk Nowitzki and the crew with Michael Finley and Jason Terry leading the way offensively.
Well, we talked about that series, Dallas and Houston, the other night. I really felt like Dallas was going to win Game 3 when they went back to Houston. And the reason I say so, Tracy McGrady, for as far as he's come, and a great player in this league, he's still, I think he's to get to the next level, he's got to decide he's going to come and make a point to win every night. And when they went back to Houston, you just felt like he was going to take some chances, see if they could skate through the next couple games. And instead, didn't assert himself late, and they're back in a series.
Here's Bibby. Connects from beyond the arc. Bibby, his 2nd 3 of the night. And Daniels tosses it up. It doesn't go, and the first half comes to an end. Sacramento by a dozen, 68-56 behind Peja Stojakovic and a Mike Bibby. And coming up at halftime, of course, we'll head to Atlanta with Ernie, Kenny, and Charles, the Verizon Wireless halftime report, as we send it over to Susie Schuster. Susie?
All right, guys, thanks. None other than Vlade Divac said that you'd have a big game tonight. Do you feel like you got your groove back?
No, I was just trying to be aggressive, move without the ball, and try to involve myself in the beginning of the game.
How are you guys able to control them defensively? You're turning the ball over a lot and making errant shots.
Well, I think we got relaxed in the second quarter. We had to regain our defense like we did in the beginning of the first quarter, and just try to contain even better Ray Allen.
What's the key to your defense? They were as close as 3, and then you opened it right back up.
Helping Ray, boxing out, and just moving the ball offensively.
All right, Paige, thanks very much. Let's go to Ernie in Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Susie. It is a 12-point lead for the Sacramento Kings as they try to knock this series up at Arco at 2 games apiece. We welcome you to the Verizon Wireless halftime report. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. I thought Rex Chapman made a number of good points in there. One of those, he said, I don't know if either of these teams is playing well enough right now to win on the other guy's floor. It has been a home court series so far.
We were talking about that in the back. Because, we only going to work next Saturday if there's a Game 7.
Oh, you've been looking at the schedule.
No, we're trying to figure out, Ernie, you know what? Just listen. Don't talk, just listen. So we're trying to figure out, because we need, Ernie,
I was just assuming you were looking at the schedule.
You get to sleep at home every single night. So, we getting sick of the hotel.
We're just figuring it out. But go ahead. That's exactly what he said.
No. So I said, Kenny, neither one of these teams good enough to win on the other's home floor, so we're going to be working Saturday.
Okay.
So we are totally in agreement with Mr. Chapman.
Just the kind of insight we were looking for. Now, how about 19 points? Oh, they're a little late with the shot.
They think they're funny upstairs.
They're a riot. 19 points. Sacramento's running away. Seattle actually cut the thing to 3. How?
Well, they cut the thing to 3. One, they started out the game going at Jerome James, and he was basically crab dribbling in. Bill Russell, dribbling in and scoring. But then they lost the defensive presence. And so what happened, they got it back. All of a sudden, Bill Russell makes people take tough shots. You rebound, and you run. And when you run the floor, look how Romanovich on the weak side, he outruns the whole Sacramento team, and he gets back. If you defend, here it is again, Bill Russell's in a pick and roll here, and he gets in a pick and roll, and he says, you know what, I'm going to put a hand up. I put a hand up, I go. Now I'm running, Ray Allen's going to push it up. I rebound and I run, but then towards the end they reverted back to it's a daisical. I could do what I want.
Because that boy, he playing like Bill.
Bill Russell.
I call him Bill. When I call him Bill Russell, he might be better than Bill Russell the way he playing.
Another good point that Rex made. You can't let a good shooter get hot and get on a roll. Peja Stojakovic, 8 out of 11 for 21.
There's a lot of story there.
Yeah, there's a lot of story there. 64-62. Look at Pau Gasol going to work.
So you said they had buns that they would have won tonight?
No, I'm just saying that they're wearing those things because the guy missed shoot around. And they said for some reason felt like they should wear those. At any rate,
he was in a hurry to get to the islands.
Well, he can go there.
That was a dirty play, right?
Matrix getting a little hot under the collar with Dante Jones. Jason Williams trying to keep the Grizz close, 110-105, but Quentin Richardson knocking down a 3, and the Suns are into the Western Conference semifinals. First time they've ever had a 4-0 sweep. 123.
They never swept anybody?
We had best of 5. Never a best of 7.
Okay.
123-115, the final score.
Remember the old days?
Yeah,
Steve Nash, 24-9, and here is the point guard.
I think it's a good accomplishment to sweep any team in this league, and to close it out on the road obviously is an accomplishment in itself as well. But I think that's important for us now to look forward and forget about this series.
Speaking of looking forward, now this is kind of strange because they get either the Rockets or the Mavs, and in the Rockets-Mavs series, the home team has not won yet. And against the Rockets this year, the Suns were 2-2. Home team never won. Against the Mavs, they were 2-1. Home team never won. Isn't that bizarre? Sure is. Just an interesting little tidbit. Meantime, the Grizzlies go fishing.
Oh, yeah.
And where's the hat?
Well, you know what? Wait.
I thought you were supposed to wear the hat.
Wait, but there's no fishing in Memphis, so I had to go down to Louisiana. I had to go right over.
A lot of times they go across the line to Mississippi.
No question. So I had to go. You get the hat, Chuck. I'll get the fishing pole out. And, I had to bring my crew out. I had to bring Elvis out. It was the Elvis sign. I got my wrist. Hey, Bonzi Wells, we threw him overboard. Mike threw him overboard. And then, I had to wear my wristband in honor of Bonzi not being there, man.
Oh,
I tell you, there was a man
You're
overboard.
supporting the guy who skips shoot around on a playoff game, and you're wearing the number 6.
I had to wear the number 6. He got thrown overboard.
How far have we gone?
Wait.
And you're going to skip shoot around on a
He was fishing.
playoff game.
He was fishing with us.
When you're down 3-zip, there's really no need for a shoot around.
Oh, you're gonna skip shoot around on a playoff.
I know, it's like Will Chamberlain said.
Listen.
You're going to have me once tonight. You want me at shoot around or you want me at the game?
That's right.
Hey, let's not get carried away. Bonzi ain't Wilt.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but Wilt ain't no Jerome James either.
But Jerome is Bill Russell.
No question about it.
Go figure. 68-56, the Kings with the lead over the Sonics. Oh, I'm on TV? Yeah.
That's perfect right there.
Back here on Inside the NBA, or Inside the NBA, I should say, is coming your way later tonight. Highlights and post-game chatter, gone fishing pictures, and of course,
Elvis with the wristband on too. Ernie had support of
mean-
him too. He got thrown overboard. He got thrown overboard, man. Oh,
of all the pictures in your book, that may be the best. Ray Allen is number 2 in postseason scoring, 29 points a night. He has got 19 in the first half. The Sonics got some work to do.
The halftime report has been brought to you by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the NBA.
Sacramento, California, Game 4. The capital of California, just minutes away from Arco Arena, and the Sacramento Kings lead by 12, 68-56, and the playoff veterans are doing some damage. Bibby and Stojakovic in the first half combining for 33 of the 68 points for Sacramento. Matt Devin alongside Rex Chapman and the coach John Thompson. And coach, we start with you. Peja Stojakovic had a game high of 24 in game number 1, but 21 already in the first half.
Well, I like the fact that he's put up a lot of shots. Shooters get on by being aggressive, not by thinking about it and worrying.
He knows that. And Rex, how about Mike Bibby, 12 and 6?
Mike Bibby's done a great job, I think, especially for all scoring point guards, of getting his teammates involved, getting himself involved. He's found that happy medium that he needs to find with this squad.
All right, time now for the Jeep game summary, and the Sonics shooting 57%. However, Sacramento taking 17 more shots in the first half, Rex.
Well, to me, that's just crazy. Nate McMillan's got to be looking at the stats at halftime and seeing where they've made 20 of 35 shots and going, guys, we have got to get more shots up. They're not playing any defense, but yet, you know, they've been outshot by 17 shots in the first half.
All right, let's send it over to Susie.
All right, Nate McMillan's complaints, 11 turnovers, leading to 16 Sonics points. You guys mentioned that 57%. He says if we keep defending the boards a little bit better, we're going to own this game. I also asked him about Jerome James. How do you like the way he's playing tonight? He says he's playing okay within the offense. Jerome was complaining about the weak side defenders not getting rebounds. He said this entire team has to make a concerted effort to get that ball.
All right, thank you very much. Jerome James with 3 of his team's 16 rebounds. Second chance points, as you saw there in the Jeep game summary. 17-2 in favor of Sacramento. Under 10 of the shot clock. James out on Stojakovic.
Not paid the strong suit.
Well, Emmett James on him. Maybe he should have made the move a little bit more laterally than trying to just shoot over.
One of the things Rick Adelman said that Stojakovic must do is develop that aspect of the game, put it on the floor, and get to the hole. Here's Bauer, knocks it down. Of course, with Chris Webber and Vlade Divac, he could stand over in the corner, and he knew he was going to get it on ball rotation.
And that was a good pass by James. One of the things postmen have to do is that once they get the double teams, you have to find the open guy. That's why Shaquille O'Neal is so effective, because he's a very good passer when people come at him.
Lewis tracks it down along the baseline.
One reason I think Mike Bibby has so much energy, and right now he's got a mismatch that Ray Allen does. He's got Bibby on him. That's a matchup that Ray Allen's going to take advantage of more times than not. But they've got to do more of that with Mike Bibby. Seattle does. They've got to make Mike Bibby work on the defensive end. Speaking to him before the game, he said basically he's just a designated helper on the defensive end. They're letting Ridenour shoot pretty much anytime he wants to from the perimeter.
Here's Brad Miller. He made his first 4 shots. He is now 5 of 8.
And if you see, Mike just kind of gives a little bit of pressure, ball pressure, and then he's going to help all over the court.
Reggie Evans.
And right here, a little mix-up. Patino Mobley couldn't get back in time. Ray Allen's just got too much size, strength, and athleticism for Mike Bibby.
Ray Allen with 21 points here this evening. When he checked into the second quarter, Seattle trailed by 17. They cut it to 3 before Sacramento got on another roll. It was 12 at halftime, and a whistle and a foul underneath.
And I like the way Jerome James did that time, rather than rush, because now he's getting recognized for his offensive ability. He read the defense. The defense didn't come after passing last time. That time he made his move and got a foul. So he's, you know, really maturing as an offensive player.
You're exactly right, Coach. He took time, looked over his shoulder, surveyed. He surveyed the situation, see if the double team's coming. If not, he's got a man 5 inches shorter on him, and then he decided to take him.
But I don't know about those comparisons the studio made to him being Bill Russell. We're going to wait a little bit on that. They were kidding. They had to be joking.
Yeah, you know they were. Not even close.
Truth was not told in jest that time.
Turnover. And of course, they both live in Seattle.
That's the similarity.
Yeah, that's about it. It ends right there. 6-point game. Sacramento turns it over. Ridnour sends it to Lewis. Lewis, 2 of 4, has 11 points.
Lewis had the ball in his hand that time. I know they're running something set, but I definitely think he can exploit Frazier by penetrating on him. Frazier doesn't have the greatest of lateral movement.
He can exploit him right now. He's got to go quicker, though.
Waited too long.
He did. He waited too long and gave help. Gave time for help to come over.
Mobley denied by James, his 4th block.
You know, we're giving the big fella a little bit. We're giving the big fella a hard time, but he moved his feet well on there. But right here, Rashard Lewis got the offensive rebound, and instead of catching and going right away while the defense isn't set, he waited, gave Brad Miller time to come over. Brad Miller, not known for his shot blocking, but, you know, didn't give up much of a fight then. But she quality.
Stojakovic knocks it down. 23 points for Peja on 9 of 13 shooting. He was just 3 of 11 in game 3. Lewis up top, in and out, and Thomas with the rebound.
Take him to the basket. Make him move his feet.
Rex, could he be thinking too much about his game right now?
I think he probably is, and you're exactly right, Matt. Coach couldn't have said it any better. He's got to make Peja Stojakovic move his feet. He's got to make him. And right now, I think that Rashard Lewis is the one that's stopping Rashard Lewis. It's more in his head, and he's thinking about it way too much. He's got to make a concerted effort to get the ball to the basket, be aggressive, and make Peja move.
Shot clock down to 3. Mobley. James with the defensive rebound.
Look at the big fella.
Yeah, look at him.
Got the whole package.
The tragedy. Give it up.
Woo! Allen behind the back loses the handle. Seattle basketball.
You know, the one thing about Jerome James, though, you're watching him, you can see his confidence level lifting. You know, just in the aspects of his game.
Playoff career highs, coach, in 3 straight games at 22 on Friday night game 3.
Biggest thing I see that he's got to make some adjustments on is his ability going up and down the floor. But once he gets in his nest, he's very effective.
Now, the crowd doesn't like the foul. Kenny Thomas with a little shove of Ray Allen, and he's got to know that. He's got to know that he can't give a guy that's got that much respect from the referees. You can't give him too much of a shove. Not out in the middle of the floor with everybody to see. That's for sure.
His 3rd. Lewis. Listening to the coach.
Now, how easy was that? How easy was that, Coach?
No, absolutely. I mean, at first, particularly if the help is not coming, you know, you take him to the basket and make him play defense for the same reasons you make him dribble on offense.
Miller, the find underneath, and a foul.
You know, right here, Rashard Lewis, he just comes to the ball, gets the ball, 2 quick dribbles, little push off, not much, but I mean, they're not going to call that. I mean, Rashard Lewis has got to get in the game. He himself has to he's got to make himself go. He's got to motivate himself to go and stop waiting for his teammates to get him involved and play the game.
Well, in particular, Rex, once you get a player as outstanding as Ray Allen, now Jerome James has stepped up offensively. Lewis has got a place in that offense. If he claims that place, you can't wait for them just to run plays at you. He's fast enough to get out on the wings. He jumps well enough to get on the boards. Get himself involved in it because he's too talented.
Rashard Lewis, certainly known for his post-up game, but he also can shoot from outside 40% during the regular season from beyond the arc. Allen, Miller heads it, and a 10 of the shot clock. Stripped by Mobley.
Great hands.
Allen gets it back, has James. Fakes behind the back, and flips it up and through.
They say don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Very deceptive, though. As Al McGuire would say, he's got some French pastry with him, too. And doesn't look like that kind of person. You look at him, he just doesn't look like that kind of player.
Yeah. You know, Catino Mobley had great hands on the crossover dribble. Gives it right back. Ray Allen, a little bit of mustard on his hot dog.
23 points for Ray Allen.
The 2005 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Jeep Trail Rated Capability. Only in a Jeep 4x4. And by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Executive producer Steven Spielberg and DreamWorks Television present a 6-week television event, Into the West, starting June 10th only on TNT.
In the West, earlier tonight, Phoenix swept the Memphis Grizzlies by winning Game 4, 123-115. Their first sweep in 10 years, their first ever 7-game series sweep. And you see the numbers that Nash, Stoudemire, and Marion. Outstanding series against, of course, the Memphis Grizzlies, and they await Dallas and Houston. 72-66. Sacramento and Seattle. Here at Arco Arena, and a foul. 6:55 to go in the third quarter.
Well, that absolutely shouldn't happen. Reggie Evans has the quickness. He's got quick feet, very quick feet for a power forward in this league. And that should never happen. Let Brad Miller go right around him.
Miller's so shrewd, Rex, though, isn't he? I mean, he shows you the jumper. You've got to respect his jumper. He lifts you a little bit and then takes you on the drive. Definitely, they have a need for him in the lineup.
Well, you said shrewd. I know that Nate McMillan called him a few other names. We were talking to Nate beforehand and got to laughing a little bit about how Rick Adelman's been complaining so much about Danny Fortson. And, you know, I played not too long ago, and I know Brad Miller is no choir boy. And Nate was saying, you know, are you kidding me? Is Danny Fortson, is he holding and grabbing and pushing any less or any more than Danny Fortson? And, Brad Miller, he is shrewd, but he's a few other things as well.
Rashard Lewis to the rack.
He's still in the corner.
Yeah.
He's still in the corner when he dunked the ball. I mean, where have you been, big fella, doing that? He can't guard you from the perimeter.
15 points for Lewis.
But, you know, Coach, it is a process. It's a process that you go through. And Rashard Lewis, maybe this is his coming out party. We'll see. He's just got to keep this up and realize that it's a whole different ball game now that you're an all-star.
And the Sacramento defense has got to help Peja on that. The man shouldn't be able to drive from the deep corner like that and get unmolested going to the basket. You look at this. I mean, he goes by, and Peja is still going north while he's going south.
And Rashard Lewis, I think Nate Miller and company are learning a little bit more. They've been trying to get Rashard free on the box. And they feel like he's an excellent post-up player, which he is. But with this matchup, I mean, isolate Peja a little bit on the wing. Isolate him, spread the court a little bit. Then if they want to run guys at him, you got shooters all over the court.
The thing that Sacramento's got to be careful of is that they don't let the wolf in the hen house. Reminds me a lot of the game that we had game 2 up in Boston, where Boston let Indiana hang around, and then the great Reggie took over. They've got a Reggie out there, too, in Ray Allen. If Sac's going to move, they better make a move to take advantage of this environment now.
I agree. You don't want to give a shooter a chance at the buzzer.
Ray Allen, just like Reggie Miller, in their playoff career, they average more in points average than they do during the regular season. Shot clock down. Ridenour flips it up. No. Recycled shot clock. Evans. Hibby has it stolen away by Allen. Allen. Oh, what a dribble drive by Ray Allen, extended in the air with the finish.
The wolf is in the hen house, fellas. You better be careful. If they're going to take him out, they better take him out now, because Ray Allen is capable of taking over a game at the end.
He's capable of willing a team to win on the road.
Miller and Evans crashing the Bulls. 25 points for Ray Allen.
Yeah, you got to get up on that. You know, that shot didn't go, but those are the shots that Ray Allen makes, especially when he's got his confidence going. He just made a terrific move at the other end. You got to get out on him. Don't let him raise his arms.
James. Sonics doing a better job of limiting Sacramento to one and done.
Big fella's playing well, but he's struggling going from the end.
He's laboring a little bit right now, Coach.
Lewis.
I like that.
Jump ball.
It's okay. I like that. I like him attacking the basket.
Ray Allen, right here, heads up play, heads up play. Mike Bibby never saw him coming. And then look at this. Little one hand. Woo! That's just poetry in motion right there. And Rashard Lewis, he's being active. And like you said, Coach, you don't mind that. Jump ball, big deal. He's
ball
going to the basket.
Excuse me, Rex. Ball players sometimes are so concerned about the perception. If your shot gets blocked or you get a jump ball, go. But attack. It's hard to defend the guy that is attacking you.
Right, be the aggressor.
Guys worry about how a dunk looks. That's why Evans missed the dunk. He should have made a layup. You worry about getting your shot blocked, so you shoot jump shots.
Turnover.
And there's a prime example, Kenny Thomas. That's a play that Brad Miller makes. That's a play that Vlade Divac makes and Chris Webber makes. Kenny Thomas is not used to being in that spot where he's got to make those passes.
James doesn't get the roll, and Stojakovic sends it to Bibby. 5-point game, Sacramento on top, game full. Evans, active hands, and heads into the front row, head first.
Excellent hustle, excellent hustle. Guys are playing hard, competing. It's all you can ask. That's all Nate McMillan can ask from these teams is to play hard. And when you got guys willing to do this, because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff over here. It's very easy to get hurt. With it. As close as the fans are on the court nowadays, very easy.
That is his game. Undrafted out of the University of Iowa. Stojakovic misfires.
I like how Pager came out tonight, got himself going, got himself in the game. And you credit Mike Bibby a lot with that, as well as Brad Miller. Like we said, those guys are vital.
Radovanovic on the floor for Evans. Ridenour turns it over, looking for James. Bibby has his pass stolen by Allen. James. Off of his foot, his fingertips, his head, and out of bounds.
Made a mistake. They hit him on the hands.
Jerome James is giving Radovanovic an earful, asking him to throw it up by the rim. But Mike Bibby with two uncharacteristic turnovers. I bet he wished he had two of those passes back.
And that's a cardinal sin made by James. Anytime a big guy gets a missed basket that a guy's trying to set you up, say it's my fault. Because you don't get that many passes in that hole.
And he may not get another one, at least from Radovanovic.
Especially if you humiliate him.
And right there, like you said, Coach, that's just a heady play by Brad Miller. He gets Jerome James up in the air, gets him up in the air. But right here, Mike Bibby, he's got no place to go. Walk first, but then just a lazy pass.
And Ray Allen's everywhere on the floor. I mean, he's stealing balls. He's getting rebounds. I mean, he's just really realizes the time. You like it when you see a guy who's supposed to be good understand the sense of urgency in a playoff game.
Allen with 4 steals tonight.
Is that all?
4.
It seems like he's got 14.
He has 25 points. 10 of 17.
Just so non-assuming, though, Matt. You know, you look at him, it's so deceptive, the energy that he puts forth on the basketball court, so because of his body language.
Yeah, like you expect him to be looking at his watch, thinking that he's got to be somewhere in a little while.
I want to see a little Randy Moss in him. Randy's sitting down here to our right. Let's see a little Randy in him. I mean, he's just as placid and non-assuming, but hustling all over the place.
Checking out the
Speaking
clock.
of,
There's Randy Moss, an Oakland Raider, and Warren Sapp is there as well. And you see Warren, checking out, of course.
Look at Warren. He's got a bottle of water.
Look like a cup in that big hand.
He's got a milkshake under his seat.
It's mini camp. You know, he's got the water going. They drove down about an hour and a half from the Bay Area to check this one out.
You got to chase Ray. You got to chase him. And now he's got a matchup he likes.
Allen got it.
You know, it's just as easy as he wants it, Coach. I mean, we keep saying it, but it's just as easy as we want it. And Cuttino Mobley, I know he's complaining right now that he's getting screened illegally, but he's just got to get into Ray Allen's shorts, in his shirt, do whatever he can. Knock him down. Nice move.
Fortune comes down with a rebound, turns it over as he chips out of bounds in this two-point game with 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. And Sacramento has gone 6 minutes without a field goal, but smooth Ray Allen is simply going off. He has 28 points, and he has quieted this crowd here at Arco Arena in Game 4.
Well, it's almost like a fly when a fly's on the desktop. You think you're moving so fast, and that fly almost sees your hand in slow motion. He just flies right out of there, you know, but you think that you were quick, but he was quicker. And that's somewhat how I feel about my shot. You know, everybody else might be moving fast, but when I get to my shot, it's in slow motion. So I can see the basket just that split second and get it up.
He has been in super slow mode tonight. He has 28.
Well, yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I've never heard anybody analyze it that way, but you know, the way I always looked at it, I always knew as a player when I was going to let it go. No, you know, the defender was always guessing. I always knew when I was letting it go, and if somebody got to it, I always felt like it was by accident.
4-point game. Williamson has 8. Daniels, Radovanovic along with Lewis, Allen and Fortson for Seattle.
Oh, that's too late.
Ray Allen, quick trigger, doesn't go. Lewis, offensive rebound.
You won't see Ray Allen miss many of those. You know, somebody has got to get with the guy. They've got to just stay with him. Help on nobody else. Flop it if you're going around those screens if you have to.
Radovanovic squares up and drills the 3.
And I like the fact that Lewis went to the offensive boards that time. That's the stuff that he's got to mix in there. It's not but so many shots in a set offense. You got to get out and get some other ways, and particularly if you're good and as athletic as he is.
Very important 2 minutes. Oh, nice move by Pedro. That shouldn't happen. Rashard Lewis has got to stay down better than that. He's guarding a guy that's got a quick release, but he's got to stay down, and he can't let Pedro do that to him.
Radovanovic, too strong, and out of bounds. Peja Stojakovic with 27 points on 10 of 15 shooting.
Peja squares Rashard up. Just a quick sweep through and straight to the bucket. Rashard's too athletic to let Peja do that to him. But I think a very vital minute and a half for Sacramento. Mike Bibby on the bench. Going to see what they can get out of Bobby Jackson. See if he can give him some quality minutes right here at the end of the third quarter.
Well, this is what Bobby used to do. I mean, he came off, he gave him a lot of fire, he scored baskets, and he's a very aggressive and confident player.
Radovanovic got there late, and Mobley knocks down the 3.
And that's a big bucket, generating offense when Mike Bibby's on the bench.
The thing it also did is generate a lot of energy in this building.
Yeah.
Lewis working on the block. Fortson. And Danny Fortson is fouled with 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock as we send it over to Susie Schuster. Susie?
Well, guys, Coach Thompson, you were talking about Ray Allen's demeanor and how calm he is on the court. He came back to the bench at that last timeout with a little dance move and a big smile. This is what it's all about for him. The way he takes the ball to the hoop, Kenny Thomas told me, sometimes he just says to him, how did you do that?
Jeez, it's contagious. Randy Moss is in the building. They have Ray Allen now dancing.
Of course, Ray Allen in the final year of his contract. And Danny Fortson, you see his role. He's been doing it tonight, too. just getting to the loose balls.
Yeah, he is a dirt worker. We put that up there. He does all the dirty stuff. I mean, he's in the trenches, doing all the things that guys don't want to do. But there's a little dirt to Danny's game as well. He's not he's been called dirty a few times.
And a blocking foul on Fortson.
You know, had a chance to talk with Steve Nash, who played with Danny in Dallas last year, and said the guy is a great teammate. He's a great, if you have him on your team, you'll love him, and said that he's nothing like the way he's portrayed out here.
Well, you don't need a security guard when you got him around either.
That's right.
But I think he gets picked on an awful lot too.
Yeah, I think he does.
Because he has a reputation, the crowd responds to everything he does. But a big fella like that has got to survive in this league by being aggressive.
You see the doubleheader tomorrow night, Monday night, Game 5 in Dallas against Houston. That series tied at 2 apiece. What a great series. San Antonio and Denver. Game 4, and it all begins at 8 o'clock Eastern. San Antonio with a 2-1 lead over the Denver Nuggets.
You know, you look at that series, Houston and Dallas. I still see both of those teams being a cut above these teams, Coach, that we're watching here, Sac and Seattle. You know, Seattle has shown this year that they can turn it around and they can play better basketball than they're playing right now. But the level that Houston and Dallas are playing, I'd have to go with those two right now, playing better basketball than these.
Well, I'd have to agree with you, definitely on that.
Allen checks the shot clock. Screen set by Collison in the lane.
It's just too easy. When is somebody for Sacramento going to knock Ray Allen on his butt? I mean, knock him down. Make the guy. He's probably going to go to the foul line and make a couple of free throws. But you got to put him down. He just got it too easy mentally right now.
Well, you better guard him illegally because it's no legal way that this team has to guard him.
Williamson. Shot doesn't go, and the third quarter here at Arco Arena comes to an end, and Seattle trailed by 12 at the end of the first half, and now as they head to the fourth quarter, it's a 4-point game. Sacramento on top in Game 4. Peja Stojakovic with 27, but it has been Ray Allen trying to lead his team here in Game 4. Welcome back to Sacramento, California. This is Game 4, Seattle and Sacramento. The Kings, as they head toward the fourth quarter, lead by 4, trying to even this series at 2. Peja Stojakovic with 27 points on 10 of 15 shooting. And back in the second quarter, jammed his left wrist. That is not a shooting hand, so it hasn't hurt him at all. He's still finding the bottom of the net. Antonio Daniels to Ray Allen, and Ray Allen with 32, and it's a 2-point game.
Rick Adelman all over the official. I think he's just hollering at the official saying, he's just too good.
And they're letting these guys hang around too long.
Yeah.
Because Ray will take over the game.
Well, you know, we said Mike Bibby did a good job of facilitating the basketball in the first half. Spolis Williams gets fouled there. Mike Bibby did a very good job passing the ball around, but he's got to go out and get some shots. He took one shot in the third quarter. He's a guy that's capable of getting up 10 shots here in the fourth quarter, but he's got to take over. We said I don't know that either one of these teams can win on the road. Ray Allen's putting him in an awfully good position right now to do that, and Sacramento certainly needs to dig this out. They want to stay in this series.
Sacramento didn't capitalize on the environment. This crowd is so uplifting, and they've established a reputation as such, so that even helps and complicates the situation a lot more. But Bibby is tired now. Bibby has to play a different kind of game. This team is no longer a passing team. He's got to dribble everywhere and pound, and he's making plays for other people. So I guess it's a tough adjustment for him right now, right?
Like you said, he's kind of like Steve Nash is for Phoenix. But he's their primary scorer on this team. Steve can take breaks offensively for Phoenix.
Well, where's Weber and where's Vlade? He got his shots before from passes, not from a lot of pounding and dribbling.
Offensive foul on Danny Fortson. And that is his 5th.
And you look at Nate McMillan and Dwayne Casey, and they're just furious over in front of the Seattle bench. They do. They feel like Danny Fortson has a bullseye on his back.
And they're right. They're absolutely right, because now he's established a reputation. That shouldn't be a surprise to him. It's not equal opportunity. Once you get the reputation for being physical, you've got to be shrewd with what you're doing.
5 fouls in 8 minutes of action. In the first 3 games, 11 personal fouls in 31 minutes. Here's Mobley stretching out the lead.
And I don't know what Seattle's thinking, but Radmanovich cannot guard Coutinho Mobley. Not at all. And
Allen quiets the crowd.
He's just having a field day out here.
Anybody
Coach.
in the building guard this man.
35 points, had 33 in game 3 in that loss. They're trying to carry his team here at Arco.
The misleading thing about Coutinho, he hasn't been actively involved in the offense either, and that's why you're able to put a bigger guy on him. But he is dangerous, as you indicated, Rex, particularly if they get out in transition. He's not a set offense player.
Right. And they're going to look for Ray, and you know, he's begging for the ball right now. He should get it every time down.
Under 10 of the shot clock. James, a strong move.
Nice move by the big fella.
15 points by Jerome James. 1-point game, 88-87.
The Kings are winning, but I really like the hand that Seattle's got right now.
Williamson, and he is fouled as he makes a baseline move, and it's going to be charged to Jerome James, but look at this move.
Number 13, Jerome James.
He looks good on that. That running hook, that hook shot is becoming extinct. You don't see many guys use that as much because all the big guys are going outside shooting jump shots. But what I like about Jerome is he's not in a hurry any longer. He's reading the help before he attacks the basket, and this is a smart thing. Got to add a better passing game to his game, though.
As you mentioned, as we send it over to Susie Schuster. Susie?
Well, guys, no coincidence that this Sonic spurt's coming after Danny Fortson gets his 5th foul. They say that when he's this aggressive, he motivates them to get themselves going. They love it when he plays like this. And by the way, guys, you're talking about Warren Sapp. He told me before the game he came here to watch Ray Allen. He's getting his money's worth tonight, guys.
That's certainly the case, Susie. Ray Allen with 35. And Coach, you were talking about Jerome James playing with confidence. He walked into this building with a lot of confidence when we saw him earlier tonight, striding right across the floor.
It's like a Hollywood movie star, Rex.
He sure did. But Sack's got their hands full right now. They got Ray Allen, who is, I mean,
going off.
You almost just don't even react to it anymore. This game is so easy for him right now. Sacramento has more than their hands full. Ray Allen's doing anything and everything that he wants, and a veteran playoff team like the Sacramento Kings knows better than to let a guy have it this easy. They got to put him on his butt right now.
The playoffs is a big stage, and there have been many a player that have surprised those that have gone up against him. Mario Elliott in Houston. How about Dennis Rodman in his 2nd year? Detroit back in 1989. And yes, Greg Kite in Boston back in 86. Making a name for themselves. Mark Eaton at Utah back in 1988. And then, of course, I think you may have heard of this guy. This was the first ring, the first of many. Robert Horry, and he's still doing it. Knocked down a couple of big threes for San Antonio in game number 3. And Jerome James, well, he is surviving on this big stage.
He's really coming through for Seattle and giving them quality minutes in the middle.
Lewis goes to save it out of bounds. Sacramento ball.
You know, Coach, Nate McMillan made a nice strategic move. Reggie Evans has struggled somewhat tonight. Danny Fortson is in foul trouble. Nick Collison is in to play Brad Miller. He got Brad to commit an offensive foul last time down, but he's a heady player. He moves his feet well. I think it's a very good move for Nate McMillan and this Seattle squad right now.
He's fresh and he's aggressive. He's playing with a lot of confidence out there. And plus he has that physical entity too that we were talking about.
Allen has 38. Seattle with the lead for the first time since the 5:29 mark of the first quarter when they led by 16-15. Gets by Mobley to the hole.
Now,
40.
This is just, you know, I know Kenny and Charles are back in the studio right now just going nuts because this is playoff basketball. And Sacramento is going to be embarrassed when they watch this film tomorrow. Mike Bibby, Brad Miller, especially Peja Stojakovic. You got to put a guy down when he's, and I'm not saying hurt a man. You know, that's not at all what I'm saying, Coach. You've got to, well, I know I'm not either. You cannot hurt a guy, but you've got to put him down. And there's a way to do that. You played basketball long enough. You know how to do that.
Put a pillow under.
But this is embarrassing.
Well, I know exactly what you're talking about. Somebody's got to touch him before he gets to the ball.
And there's Nick Collison.
Collison takes the charge.
Kings, the 34, Carlos Williamson is 4.
Very good move, I think, by Nate McMillan. Nick Collison is, like you said, Coach, he's fresher. He's hungry, too. Here's a guy who...
He doesn't mind the physical contact. He's involved. But had Fortson been in that same thing, I guarantee you that would have been a foul call because of his reputation.
Exactly right.
Ray Allen, his career-high 41, set back on June 1st, 2001 when he was with Milwaukee. And that was against Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Finals. He has 40 tonight. Antonio Daniels.
Happy birthday.
Banks it in, plus the foul.
Happy birthday. Oh, how about this? And you know, like you said, Coach, you know, as you see, a good cross-court pass, and I don't know that he called glass, but it counts all the same. Hit on the elbow. Like you said earlier, Coach, Sacramento just let them hang around. They let them hang around and hang around and hang around.
Well, the roof is in the hen house now because it's close enough for a guy as good as Allen to take this game over. And Sacramento missed that golden opportunity to put this team away, and particularly in this environment.
The Wolf is actually howling right now.
Yes.
5-point game, Brad Miller, 13 points.
Should be a fine each time down for Seattle if Ray Allen doesn't touch the ball.
Shot clock at 5. Allen.
That's good defense. Brad Miller did a very good job stepping out, hedging, getting the hand up. That's a tough shot for a right-handed player coming off to his left.
But this is where I think Bibby is broken down now because of the fact that he's got to pound the ball, he's got to make plays for everybody else, where he's not fresh enough now to use his offensive abilities to his benefit.
Bibby, no. James controlling the glass, and that's something that they did in the third quarter.
That's a very good call, Coach. You know, Mike Bibby with fresher legs, 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, makes that shot most nights.
And you were absolutely right, Rex. Everything now is going to be touched by Allen.
Yeah.
If he doesn't take the shot, he's got to touch it.
Collison gets the roll and the foul.
And I see that Nick Collison has picked up in his very short time in the NBA the art of taking 4 steps to get to the basket.
When you start to look at the body language of Sacramento now, those guys don't look with the confidence because they smell now that Allen is taking over. Beautiful pass by Ray Allen. A little pick and roll. The attention is coming towards him, and now he's making a play with the pass.
The 2005 NBA Playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Hyundai. See the full line of Hyundai's cars and SUVs. Visit HyundaiUSA.com. By Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. By Best Buy, thousands of possibilities, get yours. And by Sprite and Thirst, reminding you to obey your thirst.
The line has been crossed tonight by Ray Allen here at Arco Arena. 40 points, and that is the most scored in this season's playoffs. By an individual, he has been sensational. Gilbert Arenas had 39 on April 27th in Chicago, but Ray Allen tonight, 40 points. And Seattle up 98-90 at Arco Arena. Stojakovic in and out. Loose ball foul.
And Matt, you know, you reminded me during the break, I appreciate that I did say I didn't know that either one of these teams could win a ball game on the road. I appreciate that, but I also wasn't.
I just had to mention that.
I also wasn't planning on Sacramento playing defense on Ray Allen like my son's 6th grade team. And I'm being serious. These guys are going to watch the film tomorrow, win or lose, and they're going to be embarrassed that they let a man do this to them.
Ray Allen in and out. And as Adelman told us, the head coach of the Sacramento Kings, we do not have an answer for him. And guess what? They don't. And you take a look at the second half for Seattle. It started on the glass. They're able to get out rebounds up to the Nate McMillan and say, hey, we got to do. They're +10. And they continue to shoot the ball well. And Ray Allen is doing his thing.
Ray Allen should be getting a little tired now. As you see Bibby falling short right there. Bibby's definitely, I think, being worn out by having to play the style that he's got to play. He's so accustomed, as I've said many times, I don't want to keep repeating myself, from cutting without the ball. Chris Webber and Vlade Divac not being here has a tremendous impact on his game. Maybe if Bobby Jackson were in the game and Bibby could take and utilize some of those screens and get off a pound in the ball some.
Well, they ran so much of their offense through Vlade Divac and Chris Webber.
Scores coming up on Monday's schedule. Chicago and Washington on NBA TV. Game 4 starts at 7:30. Then 8 o'clock, Game 5. The Rockets and the Mavericks. That series tied at 2. And San Antonio and Denver as the Nuggets look to even that series at 2. A doubleheader on TNT.
How about them Wizards? Finally got a chance to win a playoff game.
First time since '88. That was against Detroit.
All the hometown fans are very happy about that.
They're still the Bullets. They're still the Bullets. I can't call them the Clippers. But, you know, I was joking. Ray Allen definitely is allowed to do this to a team. He's that good a player. But just the manner that he's done it tonight is very disappointing to me from a Sacramento standpoint.
Jerome James spinning in the lane and gets it.
Look at the big fella. Look at the big fella.
Say what you want about the big fella, but he's definitely stepped up a level. And it's impressive that you do this in the playoffs. The good players come out during the playoffs and compete the way he's doing.
Offensive foul, and there's Nick Collison on the floor as he takes the charge, his second charge of the night. Mike Bibby tonight, 4 of 16. Rex, what have they done to disrupt his game?
Well, he's having to force shots now. He knows the time's running out. He's a guy that he's a big fourth quarter player always. Got a lot of, as Coach likes to say, he's got a lot of stomach. But right now, I believe that stomach is a little bit tired.
But, and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know as much as what they've done to him, as much as by losing some of the players. Every time he's involved in pounding the ball, Bibby's accustomed to using screens at times to shoot and get his own shot. This is what Pitino has to do, though. Early offense, getting down quick, because that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to get involved in the set offense as much as he's gifted with quickness and his individual ability to create.
You make a great point, Coach. He's much more of a one-on-one player and a transition player. He's much less effective in the half-court offense.
Rashard Lewis misfires, and Mike Bibby handles the rebound.
And Coutinho's begging for it. As you see, he's just begging for the ball in transition.
It's a 2. Thomas gathers the rebound in a crowd. 5-point game. And a timeout taken by Seattle.
And that was a basket that Seattle would live to regret.
Let's take a look at this spectacular NBA playoff finish brought to us by Armor All.
Chapman. Oh, and counting. Three-point shot by
boy king of Kentucky. Well, Ray Allen has been the king of Sacramento's court tonight here at Arco Arena. A league playoff high of 40 points. He's one shy of his career high in the postseason.
Yeah, what do they say? Even a broken clock's right twice a year, huh?
You were right that night 9 times.
He's just done it in such a variety of ways. And Sac really got their hands full because they've got a guy who's on a roll.
Stojakovic. Shot doesn't go. Tapped out. Long rebound.
Nice play by Kenny Thompson. And I don't know what that was. They had a brand new clock. And that's what Rick Adelman's saying. He's looking at Mike Bibby and saying, patience, patience, patience.
And Bibby's experiencing a little bit of frustration because a lot of his stuff is going short. But, you know, he's tired now. You know what I mean? And that's just a fact. Maybe you should go a little bit more to Tino Mobley right now.
And it's a credit to Seattle's defense. They've worn him out, too. They've been on him. The big men have stepped out and done a very good job of helping out the guards tonight on Mike Bibby.
Lewis goes strong, and he's fouled.
Well, and good things happen when you attack the basket because Lewis has a lot of skills. I mean, he's got good quickness. He can handle the ball. You're taking it to the basket. You got a chance to come up with the basket or the foul. But I agree with you. That looked like it was all ball.
It did look like it was all ball. But, you know, Rashard Lewis, his game is not getting out on the wing and lulling you to sleep with the dribble. He's not a Paul Pierce type of wing player. He's a 1-2 dribble guy either way, but with the big sweeping long first step that he's got, he takes one dribble and he's at the bucket. And he's doing a good job of initiating, being the aggressor right now.
And the great thing, Rex, about going to the basket, attacking the basket, you make the official make a decision.
Yeah.
As opposed to you only come up with one thing on the jump shot. It's got to go in.
Lewis, 9 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. 17 points. And 4 of 11 from the field.
Excuse me, Matt. I think that Sacramento's got to do a good job of getting Mike Bibby involved right here, however it is.
Stojakovic on the drive, finds Thomas. Shot doesn't go. Miller, second chance. In traffic, and a foul.
Terrific effort by Brad Miller and Kenny Thomas underneath. But like we said, I think it's very important during these free throws. You get Mike Bibby, get a little bit of a rest. Hopefully they can get a stop at the other end and then get him into some pick and rolls to where he can make some jump shots.
Coming up inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Following our game, EJ, Kenny, and Charles will have highlights from both games tonight, as well as post-game sound and interviews from our game right here. And Rick Adelman trying to find the answer to stopping Ray Allen.
Seattle's got to find the answer to keeping him off the offensive boards because it's no excuse for that. The least you can do is knock it out of bounds and set your defense up when they're inbound.
Terrific pass.
Lewis. 4 of 12 from the field. Collison, second chance opportunity.
Good decision by Ray Allen. He could have rushed that shot. That's a veteran move.
Thomas was begging for help that time. He's isolated with Ray Allen. Sometimes you're too open.
James with the rebound.
Oh, boy, what's the hurry? What's the hurry, folks?
I like this with Nate Miller running a two-man game with his two best players.
Lewis and Stojakovic battling underneath. The double comes quickly. Daniels. Good.
The runner.
Well, see, and Ray Allen helps with a lot of that, and so does Lewis, because they get so much attention, and the most logical guys to take the shot that you find Daniels wide open.
This crowd just waiting for something to happen to erupt. Daniels picks up the foul.
Great recognition here by Rashard Lewis. And a nice little sweeping runner. That's a shot that Antonio Daniels didn't have when he came in the league as the fourth pick few years back. He's worked on his game and been a valuable player for the Seattle team this year.
And you're not in a hurry to run after Daniels when Allen is going the way he's going right now. You know that Lewis is going to be the second option. James is the third. Daniels may even be the fourth. That's why he's going to end up getting that shot.
Bibby 4 of 17 tonight. 2 of 5 from downtown, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 13 points. It's been a tough game 4 for Mike Bibby.
And Sack's got to have a stop if they want to win this ball game.
Allen. Mobley. They switch it up there. And Mobley knocks it out of bounds.
5 on the shot clock.
Timeouts.
You see the timeouts remaining. And a timeout taken. Seattle up by 6.
Then you need that defensive stop that Seattle's got to definitely capitalize on this possession.
The Sacramento Kings trail Seattle on their home floor in Game 4. It's been Ray Allen's night. Here's tonight's closer of the game, Ray Allen, with 43 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, doing everything for Seattle. What a remarkable evening for Ray Allen in his 9th season out of UConn. Don't miss TNT's new original series, The Closer, Mondays at 9 o'clock Eastern, starting June 13th.
Well, that shot we just saw, it's as good a shot as I've seen an NBA player make. And like we said, he was timing, took his time, looked up at the shot clock, and just got a bounce before Brad Miller could jump. And then there, you know, Brad Miller's at his mercy.
Sacramento has scored 30 points in the second half. Ray Allen 24.
Really look for Mike Bibby to try to be aggressive. Yeah, he's a guy, like you said, Coach. He's got a lot of stomach, and he's a competitor, and he wants the ball in these situations.
You know, and he does not have the accompanying cast that he's had before. You know, he's making a transition in his whole game of playing right now. Certainly he's got to step up. He's worn out. He's been doing a lot of dribbling, a lot of passing. But in the same token, Ray Allen has been superb. You know, you talk about the regular season and a guy establishing himself as a good basketball player or good NBA player, but this is the time when a guy establishes himself as being a superstar. You know, this is the time when you see a guy like Ray Allen do what he's doing. You saw Reggie Miller do what he did against Boston when we had that game. And you can't let a team, as I said much earlier when Seattle was behind, stay close, because the great ones take it over.
And Ray Allen did tonight with 43 points. Of course, Mike Bibby in game 1 struggled mightily, was 1 of 16, but game 3 was outstanding tonight. Just 4 of 17, and he has certainly in his past performed in the postseason. You go back against that Western Conference Finals and the Lakers, he's done it before. And of course, this series will move back to the Pacific Northwest to Seattle for Game 5 on Tuesday night. 10:30 right here on TNT. And of course, Seattle looking to close it out.
We've got a lot of stars in this league. There's no doubt. It's a league of stars, and it's a stars league. There aren't brighter stars than Ray Allen. I mean, we've got some, but he's in that upper echelon of stars in this league.
And the only way that the Kings could possibly have solved this problem is with their offense. I don't think they could have done anything with the cast of characters they have right now to stop him defensively. But offensively, had they played